The foldable smartphone war in Europe is heating up like never before, and at the center of all the action is Samsung's latest beast, the Galaxy Z Fold 7, which has already rewritten the rulebook for success in the foldable market. Because according to fresh reports, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 has absolutely crushed expectations, more than doubling sales compared to its predecessor, the Galaxy Z Fold 6, and setting new records for Samsung's foldable lineup. And this story is far more than just about numbers. It's about how innovation, competition, and consumer demand are shaping the future of smartphones. So let's dive deep into what this means for Samsung, Google, Honor, and the entire smartphone industry, because the future is unfolding right before our eyes. Now, the latest insights from Counterpoint Research have confirmed that the Galaxy Z Fold 7 has sold an astonishing 250,000 units in Western Europe in its very first 4 weeks. And if that number doesn't sound crazy already, let me put into perspective. This is 2.5 times the sales of the Galaxy Z Fold 6 during its launch period, and nearly 70% more than Samsung's previous foldable superstar, the Galaxy Z Fold 4, which until now held the crown as the company's most popular book-style foldable. And this record-shattering performance proves one thing loud and clear. Samsung is finally hitting the right notes with its foldable flagship. Because while previous generations were exciting in concept, many consumers hesitated due to durability concerns, pricing, and software maturity. But with the Fold 7, Samsung has clearly addressed enough of these pain points to convince hundreds of thousands of Europeans to make the leap into foldable territory. What makes this even more impressive is that no other foldable smartphone, whether book type or clamshell style, from any OEM has ever achieved such numbers in Western Europe, which speaks volumes about Samsung's dominance in the premium foldable category. But at the same time, this dominance is now facing unprecedented pressure, because the report also highlights that competition is not just rising, it's fierce, with Honor and Google hot on Samsung's heels. And both brands are not holding back, as they've recently launched some of the most exciting foldables we've seen, which are rapidly gaining consumer interest. To put things into context, Google has only launched 2 foldable devices so far, the Pixel Fold and the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. But despite this limited lineup, Google has managed to capture an impressive 8% of Europe's overall foldable market share as of June 2025, which is a remarkable achievement for a brand that only recently stepped into the foldable space. And it shows that the Pixel Fold strategy, with Google's clean software, AI-powered features, and seamless integration with Android, is resonating strongly with European buyers who want something different from Samsung's offering. On the other hand, Honor, the brand once overshadowed by Huawei's decline, has been quietly and aggressively expanding across Europe with highly competitive foldables that combine sleek designs, flagship specs, and often lower price tags compared to Samsung, which makes them an appealing alternative for buyers who want innovation, but don't necessarily want to pay Samsung's premium prices. And while exact numbers weren't shared in the recent report, earlier data already confirmed that Honor and Google are the fastest growing smartphone brands in Europe. And this growth in the foldable segment is the clearest proof yet that Samsung's grip on the market is being challenged like never before. Now, let's pause for a moment and consider what Samsung's achievement with the Fold 7 actually represents. Because selling 250,000 foldables in just a month in Western Europe is not just about a single product. It's about building consumer trust in a technology that many once dismissed as a fragile gimmick. And with the Fold 7, Samsung seems to have crossed a line where foldables are no longer niche experiments, but legitimate mainstream options, especially for power users who want a tablet and a smartphone in one sleek package. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 has clearly struck the right balance between durability, performance, and cutting-edge design, which explains why sales have exploded. And when you compare it to the Fold 6, which felt like a more incremental update, the Fold 7 feels like a true leap forward, not just in numbers, but in confidence, because Samsung knows it cannot take its market lead for granted anymore, not when Google and Honor are gaining ground so fast. What's fascinating here is how this competition is actually benefiting consumers, because Samsung's push for better durability, lighter designs, improved hinge mechanisms, and enhanced multitasking software is undoubtedly driven by the fear of losing ground to rivals, while Google is pushing foldables into the AI-driven future with smarter multitasking and exclusive Android features. And Honor is forcing everyone to rethink pricing and accessibility, which means the end result is a foldable market that is evolving faster delivering better value, and becoming more appealing than ever before. If we zoom out, Europe has become one of the most interesting battlegrounds for foldables. Because unlike Asia, where brands like Oppo, Xiaomi, and Huawei also play big roles, Europe has turned into a three-way showdown between Samsung, Google, and Honor, with Samsung holding the crown for now, but with rivals gaining ground at a pace that cannot be ignored. And this raises some critical questions for future, such as whether Samsung can maintain its momentum with the Fold 7 and beyond, whether Google can expand its foldable portfolio fast enough to truly challenge Samsung's dominance, and whether Honor can leverage its pricing advantage to steal market share across more regions. One thing is absolutely clear, though. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 is not just Samsung's most successful foldable yet. It's a turning point in the industry, a sign that foldables are moving beyond novelty status and into the mainstream, and as more players push innovation further, the real winners are consumers who get better devices, more choices, and faster improvements year after year. With sales skyrocketing and competition heating up, the foldable market in Europe has never been this exciting, and all eyes are now on how Samsung, Google, and Honor will shape the next chapter of this unfolding battle. Because the Galaxy Z Fold Mate 7 have doubled sales and set records, but in this game of innovation, nobody gets to stay on top forever. And the only certainty is that the competition is going to get even more intense from here. So stay tuned because we'll be following every twist and turn of this story right here on TechVerse.